ever get that sinking feeling when someone fills out your inquiry form and then disappears into thin air? Well, you're not alone. If you're constantly chasing leads and spending your time chasing leads who don't book or you forget to follow up with them, it's time to set up a follow-up workflow within Dubsado. I'm Betsan, a certified Dubsado specialist, and I've helped many business owners streamline their systems so they can focus on growing and scaling their business instead of all the boring admin work. In this video, I'm showing you how to set up a follow-up workflow for inquiries that don't convert within Dubsado. I'm going to give you two different workflow options. You'll learn the pros and cons of each workflow and how to organize your leads better and how to save time by setting up these systems and not forgetting to follow up with your leads. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out my last video on how to automate the full discovery call process. So whether you're brand new to Dubsado or just want to tidy up your lead process, you're in the right place. Okay, so first of all, I would first like to say that it isn't quite possible, in my opinion, to fully automate appointment follow-ups within Dubsado. There's a few workarounds, but in my opinion, they do require some manual input from you. It's not like the follow-ups with the forms and proposals, which you can fully automate and it doesn't work a problem because the workflows have conditional logic for this. So with the forms, we have the different workflow triggers of after a form is not complete and after a form is completed. So we do have those conditional logic triggers with the forms, and so with your proposals, with your forms, you can do different action steps within your workflow, like send out follow-up reminders. It doesn't work with schedulers because there is no conditional logic for the schedulers when it comes to if an appointment is booked and if an appointment is not booked. So that is one of the cons of this, because if you send out an email with send a scheduler, send a scheduler, send a scheduler, it will add 3 different discovery call schedulers, for example. So it would add 3 different discovery call schedulers to your project. And then the workflow will get confused about which one is when the appointment's booked. You'll get confused. It's just because they don't talk to each other. So that is the con of the Dubsado scheduler or follow-ups. So I will show you 2 different ways of how you can do this. If you want to do a 3 and 5 day follow-up, if you want to do an email or a voice note or send a DM, I will show you how you can add that onto your inquiry workflow. If you haven't seen my previous video, I have walked through how I would set up an inquiry workflow with Dubsado, how I set up clients, how I've got steps for myself. What I would do is I would add either a to-do or send email action to the end of this workflow. So at the bottom, after the send email discovery call, post call email, I would add it to the bottom of here, so that if you don't tick off the to-do or if you don't want to send the email out, it doesn't actually affect the rest of your workflow. Like it wouldn't affect this immediately after all previous actions complete triggers. So I will show you now how I would set that up for the 3 and 5 day follow-ups. I'll show you after now how I would set up 30-day follow-up, 6 months follow-ups. So for the 3 and 7 day follow-ups, I would do for if a discovery call is not booked is, for example, I would send an email and I would put discovery call follow-up 1. Here I have a link, but that smart field will not pull through as we're not sending a scheduler. So here I'll put add link, because you can go into the project and copy the link for that scheduler and add that in here. So that's what I would do. I will show you how to do that in a moment. I would have this go out. I want it to go out like 3-ish days after I send the scheduler. So I will put 5 days after workflow started, just to give me a bit of time to approve and go through and add things in. So if it goes out 5 days after, that's not the end of the world. I would have this set as approve, because then if I don't want it to go out, it doesn't automatically send out some rogue email going out to the client. I've got full control over it, and it doesn't affect my workflow if it doesn't go out. And I won't be adding in this workflow, pause workflow after appointment scheduled, because I don't want it to pause and it'll stop then my other triggers. So these triggers are here after appointment has ended, change product status, and discovery call email going out after appointment has ended. It will stop these going out. It will pause it and they won't work. I also don't want to create a separate workflow with these actions because I won't be able to use the triggers after the appointment has ended because they won't be able to read the scheduler because the scheduler has not been sent through the same workflow as them. So that is why I have not done this in two separate workflows. What you to do if you wanted to add a to do, so create a to do for up at 8 days after workflow started, send DM to client. I'll put their name, about discovery call, follow up. If you have a script, you could copy and paste that in here, just so when you open when you see the to do in your emails or on your dashboard on Dubsado, you'd be like, oh, I'll send that out now. I'll also click send email reminder so that it'll go through to my email and I'll be able to be like, oh, I just need to pop them a DM. So again, that will come up there. And it's just to remind me to send that. And again, if they booked a discovery call, it's fine. It's not going to affect anything. It's not going to affect my workflow. It's not going to affect me sending out a proposal. It's not going to affect anything. And again, the client will not get a random email or anything to say. And in that DM, you could even copy and paste the discovery call scheduler link into that DM so they can book directly on the discovery call scheduler. Because again, we want to make it as easy as it is for clients. So again, the follow-up is a little bit manually tricky for appointments, but this is how I personally like to do it, just because I want to make it as easy as it is for my clients. I don't want rogue emails going out. I'll show you now how you can copy the link. We go on to projects. You could even add this link in after your discovery call goes out, just to make life easier for you down the line if you wanted. So I will go on to discovery call scheduler sent, click on the client. And if you go into appointments, pending, if you do this on the app, it does give you the option for copying the link. So again, even easier if you're sending a DM. You can click open and just copy and paste that link over into the email, go into the workflow for that client, go into the email you would like to add it in, so follow up one here, click edit. I like to click link and add it as a button, add in the URL and then put book discovery call, open a new tab, insert, and then that adds in the link then for your client. They have got the link there and it links to that same scheduler. So it's not three schedulers adding to this client's project. If you had to do, you could go in, click edit and paste that link in if you've got it for future use. Again, it is on your Dubsado app. If you go onto the project, go onto appointments, it even says copy link. So you can copy the link and send it in a DM if you wish. And that all then will read off that one scheduler. That's just how I prefer to do it for the 3 and 7 day follow-up. I will show you different ways now to do it for the 30-day follow-up, 6-month and 3-month follow-ups, how we can automate that. I don't add this as a start workflow step to the inquiry workflow because I don't want it to trigger and I've had the discovery call with them. So again, because the conditional logic isn't there, it does get a little bit trickier. If you want it all in one workflow, this only sends one discovery call scheduler. The other two emails, the 3-month and 6-month emails, don't send a discovery call link. So if you don't want to send a discovery call link at all, you don't even need to include that. You could just have this as send email. I have this as send 20 days after workflow started because it's been a while since I sent out this discovery call scheduler. Again, I've done the 3-day follow-up and the 7-day follow-up. So now it's been about a week, maybe 10 days before I add this workflow. Once I've manually added this workflow to the project, I'll show you at the end how to do this. It changes the project status to follow-up. So it moves it out of the discovery call scheduler sent into follow-up. It's out of the way. It's not getting mixed up with my recent leads. And so then after 20 days, it will send the appointment scheduler saying, it will send a discovery call scheduler. I have this set to approve. So if I want to go in and edit email or I don't want it to send, it won't send. If they book a discovery call off that scheduler, it will then change the project status to discovery call scheduled. It will pause this workflow. So this workflow will pause then about 10 minutes after they book the call. So it will not then, all of this will not trigger. It's done, it's paused, not to worry. 3 months after the workflow started and 6 months after the workflow started, these emails, follow-ups will go out. There is no discovery call schedule linked in these emails. They're just follow-up emails. Hey, how are you getting on? Do you still need help? If you'd like a chat, just let me know, reply to this email. Simple. Set to approve in case I want to personalize it by clicking the edit on the project, or if I don't want them to go out, I don't click approve. It doesn't go out. The next step after this is the project will archive a month or so after those emails have sent out. If you book a project with them or book anything with them, please go in and pause and archive this workflow. Otherwise, it will archive the project when you're still working on it. If you are wanting to send out a scheduler link on each email, this is how I would do it. This is a workaround. It has its pros and cons. Like if someone books up an old link, they it will run the next follow. It'll start this follow-up workflow. But the chances of finding the old discovery call scheduler linked when you send it a month after, they're not, are they? Let's be honest, they're not going to find it. So this is why I will do it this way for the 30-day follow-up, 3-month and 6-month follow-up, but not the 3 and 5-day follow-up, just because it might make my life harder if I did. So anyway, you don't want hard, you want easy. So I do have the follow-up set as approved. Again, the emails, because I want to personalize them, I want to have a bit of control over. I don't want rogue emails going out. So I do have them set to approve. Again, because there's no conditional logic with the appointment schedulers when it comes to if they've booked an appointment or not. This workflow will change the project status immediately to follow-up. It will then, after 20 days, it will send the scheduler out, being like, hey, do you want to book a call? Do you still need help? You can book a call below. After they have booked the call, it changes the project status to discovery call booked, so I can see where it is. And after that, about 10 minutes after that, it will pause the workflow so that this inquiry follow-up 3 months doesn't run. Booked a call, don't need to follow up. So they booked a call. I don't need to send out the 3-month follow-up. So it is set as 60 days after workflow started because of how it's already been 30 days. So it'd be 60 days, that's 90 days, that's 3 months. So it's 90 days after the original discovery call scheduler sent out. If they don't book a call, this will trigger. If you wanted to, you could have, instead of change project status, you could have it start a new workflow to do some steps if you want it to book after a call, like if you've got some different steps in there. The only issue is you won't be able to use the triggers after appointment scheduled, after appointment has ended, anything to do with the appointment, because it is a different workflow, and so it doesn't run. So that's why I've just got change projects after appointment is scheduled, just so I've got it. And then once it's paused, this will not trigger. So if they don't book a call and this 3-month follow-up triggers, we've got the scheduler going out again. I've got it set as approve. So I can go in, I can personalize the email to their pain points. Or if I don't want it to go out, I won't approve it. So the scheduler goes out with the follow-up email. Again, exactly the same as the other workflow. After the appointment is scheduled, it changes the project status to discovery call scheduled. If you wanted the workflow to trigger, pop that there. The workflow pauses 10 minutes after, and then if they don't book the call, it won't pause and it will trigger the 6-month follow-up. So they don't book a call and it goes to the 6-month follow-up. Again, set to approve so I can edit the email. Sends out the appointment scheduler, changes the project status to discovery call booked. If they book a call, again, if you want workflow here, you pop that here. Pauses the workflow if they book a call, but if they don't book a call, it archives the project after a month. Just take it out of the follow-up. How to add a workflow to a project. Click on the project you wish to add the workflow to. You click on workflows. Then you will go down and you will select on apply a workflow. select whatever workflow you want to start, and then click apply, and that will add the workflow to it. And there you go. Now you have two different inquiry follow-up workflows which you can choose to use within your Dubsado. And if you pair this with the discovery call automation I shared in my last video, your process will feel so much more smoother from start to finish, and you won't be forgetting to follow up with any leads. You can grab my free Dubsado discovery call workflow template below in the comments. There's two different workflows within it. There's also plug and play template, email templates, and a 30% off Dubsado code. Or if you're ready to fully hand off your Dubsado setup so that actually it works for you, you can check out my Done For You setup service, which I'll also link in the description too. Hit subscribe if you found this helpful, and pop any questions you have or anything you struggle with within Dubsado in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.